Hello, welcome back. So we're gonna, I did that thing again. We're gonna look at, there we go. We're gonna look at lesson 8 today. So this is sort of after we've done this lesson. So basically lesson 0 to 8 was really about building a core understanding of the fundamental course concepts and additional course concepts with you guys. It's part of the syllabus, obviously, but these 8 or 9 lessons, I guess technically, if we count 0, are all about what the core of society and culture is about. So when we move on to other topics, we're going to be incorporating all these concepts in all the time. Remember what I said about your HSC, there's always a marking criteria section on concepts and how well you guys integrate them into your writing and responses. But this is sort of the last concept-y bit that we're going to get to. So remember when we looked at the framework of society and culture, and we've got concepts, content, research. This is building up our real fundamental understanding of concepts here. We'll then move into a bit more of content and research methods later, but I just wanted to preface the lesson with that. So we're looking at lesson 8 today, so please highlight that, and it's on page 28. Make sure you write today's date, and we'll get started. So here we are, lesson 8, applying fundamental concepts. So the syllabus dot point here today is that students will apply each of the following fundamental concepts to 2 of the following. Now, the syllabus only requires to do the fundamental, but we are way better than basic requirements, so we're going to do the additional ones as well. So we only have to do it to 2 of the following. So there's 4 things listed here: school, family, media, or a group which the student is a member. So what I've done today is we're all going to do school, and then the next one that you do, I'm going to leave up to you guys. So I've got space here for school, but then the next section is one of your choice. So I'll just preface by, you guys will understand what family is. With media, if you do pick media, I would get you to sort of choose a branch, whether it's social media or it's newspapers or it's the news itself or TV, movies, whatever it is. Try pick a branch of the media, just because the media is so big. That'll help us. And when it says a group which the student is a member of, if you're a member of like Scouts, or if you're do any extracurricular activities like sports or dancing, or you've got something in mind you're not sure of and you want to run it by me, that's fine, and you can pick something like that as well. But we'll come back to school now, the one that we're going to focus on. So before you actually start this, I think it would be really noteworthy, and this is probably going to seem like a pretty basic, easy activity, but I want you guys to rewrite what the 5 fundamental course concepts are. Now, it wouldn't take a genius to figure out that they're written here anyway, but do it anyway. And once you've done it, I would really, and I've put this in bold, when you're doing this activity, before you commence it, you might need to revise, and even if you don't, do it anyway, the core concepts. So it's such a vital skill to be able to apply these course concepts to anything. Because in the HSC, you will always get a question based on the content dot point, but what they'll sometimes do is they'll throw a concept in there which will change the nature of the entire question, and you need to be able to adapt to do that. So say, for example, when we've done our practice peels, let's say a content dot point was how does social media affect individuals, right? That might be a dot point, but in a HSC exam, they might have how does social media affect individuals, but they might change the question and add a concept in there. So it might be how does social media affect males and females? So they've chucked the concept of gender in there, so you need to compare gender there. They might say how does social media affect individuals at school? How does it affect, or give an example where social media affects someone at a micro level. So they might always throw a concept in to twist the question up for you. So it's really important that we understand the concepts inside out and that we can apply them to different scenarios and situations. So I would go over your concept cards before you do this activity. Once you've done that, so pause the video now, revise them, and then come back. So now that you've come back and you've done that, I want you to apply all the fundamental concepts and the additional ones later to school, the social institution of school. So I've done persons as an example. So what I've said is each person within the school performs a certain function based on their social status and expectations of their role. So this is persons. For example, a teacher's responsibility at school is to educate students. A parent's role is to encourage their children to value and attend school and pay for any school fees for excursions, etc. And a student's job is to learn and work. A list of the persons involved in school are students, teachers, head teachers, deputy principals, principal, admin staff, parents, and members of the community. I could have probably added politicians and a few other people there as well. But the nuts and bolts of it, I've applied that concept to school, so the persons that are relevant to school. So let's say you do family or something as your second one. You will then need to talk about the persons in the family and describe their roles and functions. Okay. So when we're looking at society here in regards to school, again, look at your definition in your concept cards, and because I guess if you're struggling to know what to write in these spots, please do come and see me. I know a lot of you have been coming to see me throughout the week, which is great. I'm more often than not, similar to how you guys have free periods in your timetable because you're doing the online course, I also have that reflected in my timetable. So chances are I might be free at the same time you are. So come and see me in Here's Your Staff Room if you're not sure about anything, or email me a time when you're free and I'll see if I can come find you. Okay, but again, referring to your concept cards here. So when we're looking at society and the element of schools, again, society is focused on social institutions and the different roles that people play. Okay, culture, if we look at it, the nuts and bolts of culture, that's based off beliefs and values. So how does that work around in school? Environment, we're looking at a physical environmental setting. So you might be looking at how that will change how school operates. So an example we might give is that if a school operates on the coast, okay, you might do, like say, I know we don't offer it anymore, but because we're close to the beach, we used to offer excursions there because it was easy to get to. And it's similar to say if there was a school out west, how could their physical environment change the interactions that they have at school? And then time. So how does the concept of time impact or reflect a school? Okay, you've got things like obviously your timetable, you've got periods, even year groups is based off time. You know, once you're 16 years of age and that length of time, you're generally expected to be in this year and whatnot. So I don't mind if you want to write it out in sentence form like that. If you would rather do little dot points down the line, that's fine with me as well. I don't mind how you do it. I also then want you to do the exact same thing but apply the additional concepts here. Okay, so again, I want you to revise them on your palm cards, and then I want you to apply them. Now with this, I've done authority as an example, but I want you guys to then go and do power, identity, gender, technology, and globalization. So with power, you might talk about, you could talk about peer pressure and the influence that your peers and friends have, or even those in higher years than you. Authority, so authority I've done as the example is the principal has the most authority at schools. They're the top of the social hierarchy at the social institution of a school. They have the authority to set budgets, hire staff and teachers, and make decisions around education. Deputy principals typically enforce student behaviour, uniform and attendance, and they have the authority to suspend students as well as to allow students to progress to each stage of education. Teachers then, so this is me, possess authority to decide what content to teach within the bounds of the syllabus. I have to stay within those bounds, of course, but how I say deliver these lessons is completely up to me. So the fact that I've decided to create an online class is different to a normal class. That was my authority to try and decide to do that. Students have next to no authority, unlucky mate, unless you form part of a school leadership team as a captain or a prefect of some kinds. But other than that, you lose out. Sosboz. So what I want you to do again is then go through that. So apply identity to it, apply gender to it, apply technology and globalization. You might find that one a little bit hard, but try think a bit outside the box wherever you can. Like when you're in class and you're learning about the world and different aspects, that's still a part of globalization. If you're using the internet to look at different countries or whatever it is, try to be imaginative with that globalization concept. And then what I want you guys to do after that, and what we have to do again, is you pick either family, media, or a group that you're a member of, and you do that whole process again across these 2 pages. And that's it. That's all that the rest of this lesson is, okay? Again, if you're having trouble with any of this, come and see me. I have a feeling more of you will start to come and see me now that it's getting a bit more in depth. But again, if you want to write it in full sentence forms like I have here, or you want to do it in dot points, please do feel free to. Again, I'd really encourage you guys to work in groups, because it's just the best way to go. I mean, obviously, if you prefer to learn individually, that's fine. But I think it would be really impactful if you guys are sharing ideas in this space. Alrighty, that's it. Have a good one, and I'll see you in the next one.